Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield ship review video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Sloop. Now, it doesn't have a tier to it, and this is kind of a tricky ship to acquire, as you can't purchase it, and stealing it's kind of difficult. The only really way you can come across it is by it landing on the planet, but even then, it's kind of rare because if any of you guys if you try like say stealing ships that land on planets, a lot of the time it's either the UC ships, like the UC range or the UC Vanguard ships, or it's like an NPC enemy faction. But anyway, it is like you can get it. It's pretty tricky to acquire. So it's based on, it's got some Taio pieces, but it's got a lot of other pieces too. Got some Deimos, got some Nova Galactic. It's a very interesting looking ship. Now there is a version of this you may come across, the SSN, the Settle System News Network. They have like a version of this ship that like asks you some questions. I don't know if you can steal that ship though, because it's tied to like a quest. Or not a quest, but like, Anyway, so stat-wise, it's got a fuel of 70, which is extremely abysmal. That is not a lot of fuel. It's got a hull of 414, which is, again, quite abysmal. It's got cargo capacity of 655, which is not too bad for like an A-class vessel, but yeah, it's just a slight bit low. Reactor, it's got an A-class reactor with 18 power, which for an A-class, that's kind of low. Now it's using, I believe that's the toroidal reactor, so you can pump it up a little bit if you just stick with that style reactor. It's only got a crew of 2. It's got a jump range of 15 light years, which is very, very low. Shields of 355, and it's got laser weapons and missile weapons. It's got a single laser mounted on the port side there of the winglet, and then the missile on the starboard side. So yeah, it's definitely like, it's a ship that you probably wouldn't be interested in getting yourself unless you're like, like new to the game and stuff and you want to upgrade from the Frontier. As always, I'm going to purchase this because I sell them beforehand to see the stats unmodified, so you can't purchase this. Like I said, you have to just come across it. Anyway. Here it is here. It's quite a small little vessel. It's based, it kind of like has that, there's a lot of these kind of stylish ships. It's similar to the Rambler, and it's similar to, there's I think 5 or 6 that look like this. So yeah, it's an alright kind of ship. It's one of those kind of more generic ships. It was ouch.
That didn't go well.
It's fine, Sam. It's meant to be more like an NPC vessel. But it's still kind of cool though if you like the style of it. So we enter through the Nova Galactic entryway. Nice. We've got it's nice to have some pharmaceutical items. Up we go, ladder. Now there's not a lot to this ship, exterior or interior wise. So immediately we have I believe this is a living quarters. Yeah, it's a Taio living quarters, but it's, oh, he's sitting on the chair. So we got 4 beds here, which I feel like is lightly overkill for this ship. Got a toilet here, and we got a working kitchen. If I can, yep, there you go, working kitchen. And then the bridge is there, but we're gonna go upstairs real quick just to check the top area. Up we go. So we've got the docking port up there, and then we've got, this is just a 1x1 Deimos. And then if we come over this way, we have a, yep. So you got your standard like Taio cockpit. It's really nice, very aesthetically pleasing. Only real issue, I've said this in the past, I don't like how these like crew seats are kind of sat here, because it makes it seem like you're like a chauffeur rather than, it being your own ship. If possible, I'd love to see like some like L-shaped couches there, make it feel a little bit more luxurious. Anyway, let's take this thing up and see how she performs. As we can see, it's quite a small ship. Okay, so in the current config, it looks like we have like more than enough power, but then it's not really using any groundbreaking modules that require power, so I really like those Deimos landing gear. Really wish they functioned as engines. As always, I have a perk that increases my power by 5, so for the sake of this, why is my shield not working? For the sake of this video, I'm not going to be using 5 power. So currently we've got like 4 extra pips we can we can make use of. Pretty nice. So weapon wise, we have single laser weapon mounted there on the left, or the port I should say. And then we have a missile mounted on the starboard opposite. And then base speed of 150, which is very nice. And that's kind of what you expect for an A class. Boost speed of... Okay, this boost speed of almost 600. Okay, the boost is quite good on this. I'm going to do a quick agility test. So, pitch. It's quite fast. I'd say that's like a 6 or a 7. The yaw is... Again, 6 or 7, and the roll's quite fast too. Alright, we're gonna head back down to the planet now and do a teardown. Alright, so we've tore it down into 3 sections. So at the top here, we have a Deimos storeroom 1x1 and a Deimos 100 DP Slim Docker. And then we have the abysmal M200 or M20 Ulysses Helium 3 tank from Dogstar. It only gives us 70. So I would recommend swapping that out for, at the very minimum, probably... See, this is my usual go-to. Right here, we get 210, and we don't increase the mass by too much, like double mass. I'm just going to put that back for now, just so we can... And then we have, on the port side, we have a Dragon 221 P megawatt pulse laser from Horizon Defense, A class, 1200 range, 6.65 fire rate, does 9 shield damage and 3 power. Then the opposite side, we have the Atlatl 270A missile launcher from Lightsight, A class, 4800 range, 1 fire rate, 49.34 hull and shield damage, and 3 max power. And then behind here we have the 124mm toroidal reactor from Dogstar. It's an A class, 18 power. Now we can obviously get more power if we were to stick with this one. So we can jump all the way up to the 164, so like 4 kind of tiers ahead. This one gives us 29 power. Now the main difference is this costs around 30k, probably 35k without perks, and requires Starship Design 4, which is a bit expensive. Now obviously if you want to go a little bit higher, we have this bad boy here. The Spheromac DC-202 reactor from Deep Core. It's A class, 33 power, and it costs about 40k, and again it costs, or you need to have the Starship Design 4. It's a bit, you know. And then we've got 2 of these Ares DT-30 engines from Panoptes, A class, 2 power, which is pretty decent. They've got 9,200 engine thrust and 2,050 maneuvering thrust. So we'll just see real quick if these are the best engines that we are rocking. Okay, they're not. Okay, so we can go all the way up to... See, these are the 30s. We can go all up to 60, so 3 tiers higher. And the main difference is we get an engine thrust of 14,000 instead of 9,000, so like an extra 5k. And then 2,600 maneuvering instead of 2,050. Now, these cost around 15k without perks, and they require Starship Design 3. But they would increase the mobility quite a bit. Now, the only aesthetic pieces we have on the top section are these Deimos Wing E. We've got a port and a starboard one there. Then in the middle of the vessel, we have the Daimo Enhanced Cockpit from Tail. This gives us 260 cargo and 2 crew station. And then behind that, we have the Taio All-in-One Berth 2x1 Top B. And then behind that, we have the NG-160 Grav Drive from Nova Galactic. It's A class. 8 power requirement gives us 13 grav jump thrust, which in the current configuration gives us 15. Now we can obviously improve that. Grav drives are one of the cheaper things to go with, so we could go with, for instance, this one here. This R4000 Alpha Grab Drive from Relodyne, A class, 9 power, 27 jump thrust, which gives us 30, and then it costs about 15k, and it requires starter design too. Now these aren't really hard to like acquire, just because grab drives are one of the things where they don't require very high level. I think like the max is like level 27 to get the highest here. Something to think about. And then we have the shield generator here. We have the 20S Protector shield generator from Dogstar, A class, 4 power, and it gives 355 shield. Now we can obviously improve that. That is the lowest class of that shield generator, so we can get this one here. This one requires 8 power instead of 4, and it jumps up all the way to 810 as opposed to 355, so all over double shield. Now it costs around 20k with perks and requires starter design 4, and I believe it requires around level 30, which is, you know, it's a bit high, but it's kind of, that's the kind of the running theme when you want like good tech. Then we have a pair of these landing gear, port and starboard, the 220 CB landing gear. They provide 1 thrust each, which is kind of interesting. I feel like they should provide more than 1 considering how big they are. And then we have the Caravelle V103 cargo hold from Protectorate Systems that gives 395. And then on the bottom here, we have 3 pieces technically. We have the NG6 landing bay from Nova Galactic. We have a porthole aft, and then we have the Hope 5 landing gear from Hope Tech. So we're gonna put her back together. We're gonna just do some quick modifications. So first thing I would do is I would swap out the fuel tank. This one here. There you go. Now we get a little bit more fuel, which is quite nice, and then we're gonna do the shield next. Just because I feel like it's nice having a bit of a shield. Come on, there you go, perfect. And then we will do the engine real quick, the reactor I should say. So we're gonna go with the usual, the best, the Sphera Max here. In you go, like so. And then we're gonna upgrade the engines, which should give us a little bit more mobility. Yeah, there's the DT60s. Okay, that brings our ability to 93, which is very nice. Now the grab drive, like I was saying, we're gonna upgrade the grab drive as well. Grab drive. The R4000 one, there you go, slap that in there. Nice, perfect. Now, for the weapons, so currently the way it's set up, what I would do is, because we have a little bit of, I would go and get a structural piece, one of these bad boys here, and we're going to basically slap one this side, and we're going to slap another that side, like so. I'm going to remove these weapons here, and we're going to go the route of, you know where this is going if you watched my videos before. We're going to go with some of the better weapons in the game, or the best. So you have 2 choices here. If you've joined the Vanguard questline, you can use the Vanguard Auto Obliterators here. And this will allow you to technically place 6 of these, so you can basically mount 4 on each side. And then if you wanted to go complete overkill, you can mount 2 more there. Now these 6 weapons will be more than enough to kill anything, even on higher difficulties. Now your survivability on very hard will be a bit, you know, because it's quite a weak ship, but these weapons will be more than adequate. Now if you don't have, if you haven't joined the Vanguard questline, which I would highly recommend you do, just because you only have to do like the first 2 quests to unlock all them. But if you don't, I would go with the PB30. And you can have 4 of these, obviously, because they use 4 power. And then, yes, then they give you 4, and then we'll just set up the weaponry. And bang, we're pretty good. Now, there's some, you could make some slight modifications, like for instance, oh, that won't let me, oh, okay. So you can put the shield up there, gives us a little bit more kind of maneuverability, or more room. And then if you wanted to, you could double the cargo capacity by slapping another one of these on. Now we lose some mobility, which some people might not like. But what you can do, now again, some people don't like this, you could do a merge technique, where you basically, you would duplicate like so. Now, it's pretty simple to do. I've showed this on the channel before. You just press the duplicate button, and it will duplicate it down to the next snap point. I can't zoom in enough, but if you see there, it's clipping slightly, but like it looks okay. You know, it looks fine, and then obviously when you're flying, it looks perfectly fine. Now, what's the error? She's going to be like too heavy. Ship has too few landing gear. Okay, well, that was expected. Now let me see. We're gonna see if we can fix that. This is one of the issues with It's one of the issues with the Deimos landing gear. They're a bit weak. So what we're going to do is, let me see here. How would we go about fixing this? So we don't really have very much landing gear here currently. So if you wanted to rock these double engines, the best thing to do would be you would have to go to I think which landing gear would be the best. The Hope Tech landing gear, the big ones, they're bigger version of these, they would allow you to do that. But obviously that is probably not an option. So what we're gonna actually do is do a non-merge real quick. We'll get some of these smaller engines, see if we can fit some of these bad boys. What's the error? What's the error? Yeah, okay, so in the car, it seems like we're at the max for the landing gear currently, which, again, see, this is the issue with like smaller ships like this. It's very heavy. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of this ship. Like I said, it's kind of a hard ship to acquire, and even when you do acquire it, it's like, unless you really like the look of it, there's probably better alternatives. But as always, let me know in the comments if you guys have acquired this ship or you've seen it. And if you have or haven't, like, is this the sort of ship you'd like to fly? Because I know a lot of people prefer to fly the bigger ships, usually. Just because there's, like, you've more room for activities, as they say. But yeah, and as always, if you like this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe. And also check out some of my other reviews. Bye-bye.